Okay, so out for a walk and just thought I'd do a little video. Started by the great artisan Edward and his little tag, and it's just about basically the positivity and the great things that we've managed to get through Instagram. Obviously it has its issues and there are quite a few of them, especially at the moment, but actually as a platform it does bring us together with a lot of passion. So yes, obviously I'll start with Edward. Edward was, again, back in the day when I first started, one of the first people who kind of supported me, and his work and his stunning photography and his stunning artwork is exactly what kind of, I suppose, kept me going in the early days, that people were so damn good. And he also says an awful lot through his posts. There's a lot of passion, a lot of knowledge for the fragrance, but he also kind of can bring out the love. And in particular it was his iris challenge, to kind of post a little creative post about your favourite iris thing. Now I didn't win, and that wasn't really the point for me. What it did do was push me creatively, and what it also did with pushing me creatively was to find my style, if you like. And my style is, I think I do have a kind of unique way of doing stuff, kind of amateurish, novice. I'm not the best photographer, I'm not particularly a fantastic wordsmith, but I think I could describe in my head what I see when I think about fragrance. Is something I can describe. Anyway, it's not about me, it's about all you guys. So yes, that's the first one, Edward. And like Edward, the first section I'd like to say is the friendships I've made. Now I'm trying to keep this Instagram only, although I know there's some crossovers. And obviously I hate doing things like this because you miss people off, but it's everyone. But in particular, my first kind of friend on here, all that time ago, and we still talk now, is a stunning photographer. Actually a great guy, fellow northerner. And that's Calder Scents, and that's Matt. And we've swapped a few fragrances here and there. But again, we've just always, like a friendship, we have quite open discussions about things, chats about our lives and things like that. That's quite a nice thing. And next is a crossover person, and that is Smurfy girl, Claire. And the reason she needs to be on this list, even though she's a big YouTube star, is because that's how I've made a lot of friendships from her lives, which I've mentioned many times. And plus Claire is a really wonderful woman who does anything for anyone, really. It's how eventually I'll get my damn fragrance from France. I got a fragrance from Killian France, which wouldn't send it to the UK, but thanks to Claire's brilliance I will be getting it soon. Then it shows what a bad friend I am. I'm not entirely sure what Dev Pasha's name is, but I'll call him Paz, just cause you're called Paz now, mate. But he's someone, he's not particularly a big kind of poster and things like that. He's always a guy to have a nice chat with, a laugh, and he asks my opinion on things, which scares me. But also we discuss things and fragrances each other like, and we've probably encouraged each other to buy a fair few things, like everyone. And next up on the list, I wouldn't say we talk every single day. We have had nice little chats with each other and stuff. But it's Clemence, CC Clemence fragrances. Clemence CC fragrances, I should know this off by heart, don't have my notes with me. But Clemence is really funny and really down to earth. But she could have fit in another section, which is about the knowledge. Just what I learned from her, it can't be measured. It's incredible. She knows so much and puts it across so well. But also Clemence is really down to earth and funny and supportive. And again, since when I was 100 so followers, Clemence was there to kind of support me. We have had quite intense discussions. Clemence loves Chanel. Let's just say I don't. But despite that, we are friends. There's no offence caused, it's just a difference of opinion, and Clemence is right, let's face it. Then there's Lizzie Rose and Jones, again another crossover person, like quite a few of these. But Lizzie's just like the sister. I do have a sister, but like the sister I never had. The collaboration with Lizzie is probably the thing I'm most proud of, to be able to work with somebody so brilliant, and the fact that we we have quite similar taste, but then we have the exact opposite taste, and we both see the same fragrance in very different ways. And that's really kind of healthy and good. Plus Lizzie's actually a really lovely human being, and we've had personal conversations about things and that, and I'm quite happy to open up, as I am with most people, about things. So yeah, that's Rose and Jones, Lizzie. And finally, I've got to group all these lot together, otherwise I'll be on forever, is the bead sprayers group, the pineapple and bead group, or you know, whatever, a little group. We all know we end up having little groups together, and that includes people like Scott the Centurion, and Predicted Tony, Predicted Snaps Tony's missus, Tony in particular. Obviously I've spoken about our friendship a lot. Hillary, the Burro, said Susie, asked Catty, Sue, you know, there's loads of us, but all of you, I can't name everyone because otherwise this video will go on forever, but you all mean the world to me, and I'd all call you all friends. But yes, back to the knowledge and that. Like I said, a few people kind of fall into this. First up would be Fab Friends Mia, who Maya, I keep getting that name wrong, I will always get it wrong, Maya. And of course she crosses over, and a lot of her stuff is on YouTube, but she's also done some great videos on here, and her lives with certain perfumers get you to really know them and really understand the brand and what they're about, as well as the most fantastic genuine passion. Her smile and her love when she opens something and tries something for the first time is infectious. Right, let's have a rest. Next up we've got Susie's Niche fragrance reviews, and that's Susie, and she is an Instagrammer only, and she just has the most unbelievable way of telling a story about a fragrance. You can almost taste and smell it through the screen, again mixed with fantastic reviews and pictures. Eternal Sense, Rahul, does a similar thing to Mia with the interviews with the great people, as well as also such a genuine passion from Rahul as well. Next up is Perfume Days, the great Russian Tsarina, and that's Olga. And again, what this lady doesn't know doesn't exist. She knows everything ever, and like me, she has such a passion for kind of history and the history behind the brands, the history in life, cultures. Just a wonderful lady who again I've learned so much from. Then we have Matt from Questioning Sense, Gentleman Matt as I call him, who basically learns me all about all these quite niche fragrances. His love of Otto Paresi and Nasamato, I have learned so much from him. Again, a really funny, nice guy. And finally on this is Andreas, Severus Fragrances. Andreas has again an unbelievably great wit and passion and love of what he's doing, but he's also opened my eyes to certain issues, and he doesn't preach, he just puts it out there, what he's passionate about and his view on it. And also he's one of the most creative geniuses on this thing. The man is quite fantastic. Then let's put 3 and 4 together. I've got them about like brave people. I don't mean brave like, you know, they're putting themselves on the line, but talking about really difficult issues. And then the next kind of section is the community itself. And I'll start with that one a bit first before I talk about individuals. And that's that the community is based on perfume and our love and passion for that. But it does overlap and cross with real issues. And it's the support and the general, there's the odd nugget who causes some drama unnecessarily and says something overly provocative or small-minded, but that happens everywhere. And the community as a whole has covered like real things like Brian from Nose Knows No Notes at the moment, this LVMH thing going on, and the community has come together to contact them and just find out what's happening to stop us all being deleted and blocked. That's a big thing, that we come together to support each other and do that. Next is obviously, it's covered the Black Lives Matter issue, and again it wasn't for everyone to understand or do anything, but that day where we all closed off might have only been a gesture, but at least it showed we stood in solidarity with each other. Then obviously we all support each other with LGBTQ plus issues. There is the odd small-mindedness, but generally we accept people, and colour, race, gender, sexuality is irrelevant in the community. Obviously we understand we are parts of different communities as well, but it doesn't have any sort of bearing on the love and passion that we share for perfume. And finally, close to my heart is the kind of mental health support and mental health positivity, and the posts, and the kind of openness, and again, there's the odd idiot, but the fact that people are brave enough to post things like this about their own experience, maybe not so much me at the moment, but and then to support and say you're not alone, that to me is a really big deal. And people in particular that are really good at this kind of bringing issues to our forward, they're not preaching, they don't expect you to always agree, but they're giving you the information to make up your own mind. The things that might be difficult for someone to understand or not be aware of, but at least with their kind of leadership and information, we are aware. And first up with that, I'll like to mention Marcus Ibrahim. Marcus, great pictures, great love and passion of fragrance, but when there's something he thinks needs saying, he will say it. No drama, no dressing it up, he just says it. And the next one is Equality Fragrances 24. I know he doesn't need shouting out, and I know he doesn't like being shouted out, but I've learnt a lot. Can I do more? Of course I can. And should I do more? I should. But he's opened my mind to kind of things I didn't think of. And he generally does it calmly, and he's very fair-minded and open-minded. And yeah, and next is Brygro. Again, just a great lad. He's funny, he's very, very dry, very, very my sort of guy, if you like. And he also briefly talks about issues that he's passionate about. And again, I've learnt little bits from Bry's posts as well. So yeah. Section, the fifth one, it's a bit the same as Edward, and it again is the actual perfumers and the creators and the brand owners, not the ones who sell us stuff, the ones who talk to us. And all of these people I'm mentioning have talked to me on a personal level, nothing really to do with their own brand and things like that. So first up, I'd like to mention Matt from Pocket Sense. I don't think we ever talk about his fragrances ever, barely, when I'm nagging when the next one's coming out. But basically we share a very similar taste in fragrance, and that's what we mainly talk about, and it's quite a pleasure. Then there's Vitor of Rosa Salas. Again, it's mainly conversations about what we love in fragrance and little bits about how we're doing, etc. Then we have Lucy from La Maison Hedonique, and Lucy was really actually the first person to email me when my account got deleted, just to check I was alright and everything was fine, which again is quite something for someone who, you know, is a brand owner. There was nothing, you know, there was nothing in it for her, just to check after me personally, and that's a very lovely feature. Then there's Nick of Gallivant, Gallivant Stories. Again, he has quite a nice chat about his passions and things. And then there's Aaron Terence Hughes, and obviously before the brand got massive, he had a lot more time to interact with people. Obviously I understand now he's very busy. We used to have conversations and stuff about mental health and things like that. Really top fella. And then we have Mo from Kajal. Again, I've had quite a few conversations with him, and he's a very passionate man. And I feel like I want to mention Mo here because it's not just me personally. The fact he quite regularly supports the scent geeks, that's something, a big part of the community. Our little what they may call, not vlogs, the other ones, whatever, the audio log thing, not very technical, and he supports that always with Chris from Fragmental and Steve from Fragster Riches. And finally, I don't really think Sarah's a brand, but she's a great author, and that's Sarah Colton. Again, such a passionate lady who just will have great random conversations with you, and is very supportive and very lovely. So that's that concludes the video. What about yourselves? What do you love about it? I'll probably tag some people. But I enjoy, folks.